This segment of DelmarvaLife is sponsored by For All Seasons Behavioral Health and Rape Crisis Center.
September is National Recovery Month, and it's been proven that mental health problems and substance abuse disorders can sometimes occur together. Regardless of the nature of the issue, they can have drastic effects on an individual's day-to-day life, which is why when they start to compound, can become a life-threatening risk. Well, we are so happy to have Beth Ann Dorman, the CEO of For All Seasons Behavioral Health and Rape Crisis Center, with us this afternoon. Beth Ann, always good to see you.
You too.
Yes. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the relationship between mental health problems and substance use disorders.
So they're what we call co-occurring disorders. So it means that two things are happening at the same time. And we hear about substance abuse, we hear about mental health, but we don't always hear about them as co-occurring. In the world of mental health services, that's everyday vernacular for us. But what we know is that mental health disorders and substance use are linked. And they can be, it's kind of like the chicken or the egg. So maybe the substance use disorder is the larger problem that's presenting with a mental health condition underlying, or it's a mental health disorder and substance use is being used as a self-medication, if you will, in a way that compounds the mental health disorder.
So why or how do you approach these occurring together?
So it's really about being able to deal with the most pressing issue and then also addressing what's underlaying. So if someone is in the throes of addiction, that's going to be the problem that you're going to need to get a handle on so that the mental health component can be addressed. If it's something that you are seeing impacting your ability to live in a daily life as you normally had been, then that's when we need to pay attention to it, maybe moving into something that's becoming more of an addiction issue versus just an everyday use issue.
Sure. So are there other reasons that the two disorders can co-occur?
Yeah. So, here's the thing. When you think about things like depression and substance abuse, and you think about things like anxiety and or post-traumatic stress disorder, there may be folks who are out there saying like, yeah, I'm struggling with one of those things. I don't want to go see a doctor. I don't think I have a problem, but I may be going home every night and having a glass of wine that maybe turns into 2 or 3, or maybe it's a hard liquor that they're choosing, or maybe it's something that there's pills that are being taken to help them get to sleep or something more. And so it's really about kind of understanding how the mental health component in our world is showing up and where is substance having its role in your life. If you're someone who says, yes, I'm depressed and I choose to have a glass of wine, and your everyday life is functioning as it always had, then that might not be someone who you're going to rush to and say, we've got to get a handle on this problem. If you are someone who is struggling with a mental health disorder and substance is becoming a crutch, that's when it might be something to pay attention to.
So what are the risks if it goes untreated?
So one of the risks that we know about is that if you are someone who is struggling with a mental health disorder and is on medication and we mix alcohol, then there is a higher risk for someone to have a confliction between the medication and the substance. We also know that as we look, especially this being Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, we know that when folks are self-medicating with a substance, we're really not getting to the heart of what's happening. To address one piece without the other means that we might just be addressing the Band-Aid, but we might not be getting to the core issue. And the risk that you run is that the longer that these things go on and the more that substance use comes into the self-medicating end of things, the higher risk we run for someone to end up being suicidal or being so far from help that they're not able to manage in their daily life.
So what's the best way to seek treatment?
So we have office hours that extend to folks 5 days a week. There's walk-in appointments, there is telehealth appointments and in person. There are resources through local health departments for substance abuse disorders. You can really start at either end. If there's someone who's struggling with substance use, you can call. There's rehab centers that are local across the shore. There's also across the bridge on the other side of Maryland. There's some across our entire country. Then there's also the option to be able to go through mental health services. And so, just calling the local health departments and or your local mental health programs and talking with someone and saying, here's what I've got. This is what I need to talk through. What's my best approach?
It couldn't hurt.
Yes.
Beth Ann Dorman with For All Seasons. Thank you so much.
Thank you.